Hello, Luxos. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, as most of my viewers aren't subscribed yet. Today we use Mega Banette. This Pokemon has a massive 165 base attack and access to Swords Dance, so you know it's going to do ridiculous things. The third game is the 13 KO one. Please enjoy. Hello, it is Post Commentary Luxos. We're using Mega Banette today. This Pokemon has an absurd attack at 165, so I knew I could do pretty good stuff with it. Its main, as you see there, that's a pretty good example of what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to go after Chandelure, Metagross, Xerneas, and Gardevoir. So this Pokemon has a lot of uses in the meta right now, which is pretty cool. You know, it didn't really have a time to shine before, but now that the Mewtwo's running around, it especially has a good reason to be used. So, its best KO picking option is Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak will pick up a lot of weakened opponents very easily. So, you know, you just gotta go for that. I know people run Phantom Force, but Phantom Force is slow. You know, it takes a long time to come out. Opponents will switch out before they get hit. And it also just is 90 base power. It's weaker than an Iron Tail. Like, it's just too much. And not only that, Banette is already really slow. So the fact that you have to wait for its cooldown to be able to use it again, it's just a problem. So Shadow Claw, you can see there, I got Shadow Claw in the other guard shop. This guy Mega Evolves. So I can't hit him with a gunk shot, but Shadow Claw is already back. If it was Phantom Force, I wouldn't have been able to do. First off, I wouldn't have been able to get the KO in the first guard shot because they would have switched. And then the KO in the second guard shot because Shadow Force wouldn't have, or Phantom Force wouldn't have been back yet. So, yeah. Here we use Shadow Sneak just to get this Mega Evolution. And we try to pick up this KO on this Mewtwo here, and we get it. So, here's a pretty great example of it being able to use Gunk Shot to just wipe Xerneas, dude. Absolutely insane. We go for Shadow Claw here, and Mewtwo Mega Evolves, unfortunately, so we have to switch into Metagross before the Ice Beam takes us out. I think Mega Mewtwo Y with the Red Boost can one-shot it with a lot of things, I'm assuming. So I just switched out there. We go for an Earthquake here, but it does like minimal damage. Look at the Scolipede. But yeah, we try to trade blows here with Dragon Rush, but neither of us get damage off, and I get the Stone Edge. Finally came with the Charizard. So we go Earthquake this Scolipede, and we also hit them with Stone Edge. This dude is max defense, max HP, kind of crazy. But yeah. So we use Shadow Claw here. We set up a Swords Dance, and what's pretty crazy about this is that we got a double KO there, so it would have been 12 KOs, but you know, we didn't have that last second. So what up? It is game 2 time. So we're still using Mega Banette. This Pokemon is really good in this season. It's kind of crazy. So we're switching to Aggron here because we know that Aggron walls Dragonite. Unless the Dragonite has some crazy move like Earthquake. But yeah. We go for Ad Smash on this Mewtwo because Mewtwo's low. And also, I'm not sure if Aggron can chase down Dragonite yet. Some Pokemon in this game can just run away. But Head Smash is one of the best moves in the game for catching Pokemon, which is why I like it so much. And we get it there. Particularly Ampharos feels very fast for some reason. You guys have trouble chasing down Ampharos? Let me know, because sometimes I feel like, am I the only person that understands this? Like, why do people just run with Ampharos? Like, what are its actual running speed stats? But yeah, we use Shadow Sneak to get our Mega Evolution, but I see that we can get the KO, but they just switch out. Unfortunately, in this game, a lot of people just switch out, like, all the time. Which makes a lot of sense, but it can be pretty unfortunate for, you know, just the way this game works in general. Like, if you can't one-shot a Pokemon. It's pretty difficult to get a lot of KOs in this game. But Aggron in particular is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in this game because I'm starting to understand exactly what it needs to KO a lot of Pokemon. Like, I know that it one-shots a majority of the Pokemon in this game with Head Smash, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, but not getting a KO on Chandelure there, as it's supposed to. Unfortunately, we're burned here, so the Shadow Claw does not KO, but we do get the Life Orb damage to pick up the KO. So it actually worked out pretty well. We go into Aggron here because I know the Head Smash will get a KO on this Greninja, but unfortunately the Garchomp picks it up first. So we try to hit him with Ice Punch, but we accidentally pick for the Mewtwo behind them. Usually you don't see that very often in my games where I just make a mistake like that, because in my games I had to play pretty much perfect if I want to upload it to YouTube, because in order to hit my KO minimum I need to average 3 KOs per minute, and with the way a lot of people play and how the switching works in this game, it can be pretty difficult. Fortunately though, it's almost like evened out, like the fact that we have legendaries and the fact that before people just ran Reflect Light Screen all the time, which made doing it hard. But now that it's less common, like, yeah, it's easier to get more KOs, but it's also difficult to get KOs because people are using legendaries. But yeah. Oh, Aggron here just putting in work again. Let me know if you guys are getting tired of Aggron. Yeah, we switched to Banette so we can Swords Dance and try to get something on this Metagross, but there's not enough time. They also have screens. But yeah, Banette, strong showing there. Alright, it's time for game 3. I'm just going to stay focused on the game and try to give you guys direct commentary of what my thought process was when I was actually playing it. We set up Swords Dance here. So immediately I see Trevenant, which we can pick up a KO on if it has damage, or if we get a Shadow Claw crit, but they switched in the Gardevoir. So now we're picking up that we could get a KO on this Gardevoir, but the Yveltal's weak. So we see that we can get the Shadow Claw off. We could have gone for Shadow Sneak as well, but we did not. Honestly, should have went for Shadow Sneak because of the fact that we could have used Shadow Claw on the Gardevoir afterwards. We try to get a Heat Wave on this Glaceon, but they switch. That's unfortunate, but not only do I see a Gyarados, which I know Aggron can always get a KO on, but there was a green, healing item right next to it, so just easy decision there. We get a Stone Edge off on this Charizard, and the Gardevoir switches, of course. I know that Aggron will survive this Life Orb damage, and we switch in the Banette. So, almost have enough for Mega Evolution, and we finally get it. Fortunately, there's a red boost there, so we know we can pick up some pretty great KOs. Shadow Snake just one-shots. We see a Glaceon over there, and we set up Swords Dance. They switched into Metagross. I don't know what they're thinking, but just wipe it. We know that this Gardevoir, after they Mega Evolve, we can wipe it with Shadow Sneak as well. And then there's this Yveltal over here. So we unfortunately run out of the red boost, so we can't get the KO. But we still do a lot of damage. Impressive amount of damage, honestly. So we're tearing up. We go into Aggron here because, there's a Charizard on the field, there's a Gyarados, and there's a Gardevoir, which Aggron can KO all of them. Unfortunately, gonna lose it to Surf, but we still get the KO on the Charizard. We see Glaceon out. We go back into Aggron. Perfect positioning here for a double KO with the Head Smash. And we go back into Banette. There's another red boost over there, so we're going to do some crazy stuff. This Gardevoir, we know we can one-shot. We go for the Charizard here, but for some reason does no damage. I don't know what happened there. Let me know what you guys... Hey, did they have invincibility because they didn't attack it? That could be it. That's probably it. But yeah, we go for a Gunk Shot here. Does a KO, unfortunately. We try to pick them off with Shadow Sneak, but they switched. But we just go into Charizard. So look at these Charizard victims, man. In the Heat Wave, that just wipes both of them. And we switch back into Banette for this Metagross. So we set up a Swords Dance right in their face, and we actually get off the Shadow Claw. No crit needed, just wipes the Metagross. That's 13 KOs, man. Just insane. Impressive performance by Banette, honestly. GG's. (13 KOs). Honestly, one of the higher KO counts that I get. Yeah. Hello, Zoxos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for 1,100 subscribers. We're growing really fast, dude. We could hit 2,000 pretty soon, honestly. So today we used Mega Banette. Mega Banette was really strong, honestly. This Pokemon is very solid in this season. For the moveset, I had Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, Gunk Shot, and Swords Dance. So I'm going to keep it pretty brief. I explained most of my thought process in the video, or during the games, like the post commentary. But yeah, I do prefer Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw over Phantom Force because Phantom Force is slow. It takes a long time to recharge, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. So, you know, Shadow Sneak plus Shadow Claw. Especially because this Pokemon doesn't have a lot of coverage moves. I didn't feel bad about using 2 Ghost moves at all. And then Gunk Shot, very strong, you know, 120 base power, and it checks Xerneas, which is really great. And then Swords Dance, it's just a, you know, boosting move, 165 base attack plus Swords Dance is crazy. And that's it. For the EVs, we had max attack and max HP, so I did not try running a speed build. Shadow Claw already comes back pretty quick, and Shadow Sneak comes back instantly, pretty much. So, no reason to. And this Pokemon needs the bulk, honestly. But yeah, that's it. Very simple, very strong Pokemon, and I'm glad I was able to show a strong performance. 13 KOs is really great. For the team, Charizard. I always like choosing Charizard. This Pokemon is really great. Special attack. Its only downside is that to pick up some KOs, you do need to use plus moves on like Excadrill and Metagross. And Aggron, my favorite Pokemon to use in this game. It is, aside from Mega Charizard X, but I can't use Mega Charizard X because, you know, Mega Charizard X is a Mega Evolution. I have to use different Megas for each video. But my favorite non-Mega Evolution in this game is easily Aggron. This Pokemon is crazy. I'm getting used to what exactly its KO percentages are and what it needs to do to KO each Pokemon, which is pretty great. But let me know if you guys are getting tired of it. I will bench it like I did Excadrill, because Excadrill was also like my favorite Pokemon in the game. So let me know. And that's it. At 10,000 subs, I will release Numa from his icy prison. Free my guy. We're like 1/10 away there. It's pretty crazy. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.